Oh, fuck yeah.
Well, they say that you've got to get up to get down, but I can't get any goddamn lower, and my feet ain't left the ground.
And I haven't gotten it up in years.
That's noted.
Clip that.
Ouch.
Oh, so I was listening to last week's episode today. Man, you could have told me that episode came out a year ago, and I would believe it now.
What?
You could told
It was a good beat
last
there.
week's episode feels like a year ago with everything that's happened.
Oh.
I guess that sentence makes sense now.
Yes.
Please.
Because I was about to be like, a year ago, COVID-19 wasn't a thing.
I mean, our president was still an idiot, but yeah, no, we weren't dealing with the lockdown.
Sorry.
Yes, we got you now. We see where you're coming from.
Yes. Not
To pronounce things as Michael would. Will you analyze me?
I will analyze you. Brace for it.
and I'll lies. Okay.
No, Jesus Christ.
By the motherfucking eternal.
Behold.
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 And by the way, it's pronounced behold? Why do you keep ending that word with a T?
I honestly
Sweet
thought you
Christ.
said behold.
Because I think he's an Arrested Development fan, and he's still screaming,
Steve Holt?
Steve Holt! I
the
love
way,
this intro music.
It's the Disinformed podcast.
Yes, it is.
I'm Shane.
I'm unfortunately myself. John.
And how?
And I'm Michael?
So for all you slack-jawed, simpering motherfuckers out there that are still trying to navigate life, I'm gonna tell you this just up front. Why in the fuck is it such a devastating travesty that the opportunity for more motherfuckers to die on this planet is a problem? Tell me how. I still don't know. I am goddamn elated at the opportunity to remove a few more of you mouth-breathing fucking inbred whores off of the face of this quab-infested planet. So given the opportunity for me to lose my shit, my misanthropic tendencies are in full flaming force right now, and I swear to God, if I could kill some of you fuckers with a chainsaw, I would do it with no hesitation. For every asshole that ran out with 4 fucking pounds of beans, 37 goddamn things of toilet paper, and no goddamn dignity, slinking back to your grandma's basement because you're never going to contribute anything to this fucking society anyway, but you want to keep living because we all need to support your fucking ass? No. Just crawl into a goddamn hole and die with the elderly and the fucking wasted seed called children that these other assholes are sperming out into the planet. And I will be happy. For once.
I, for the first time on this podcast history, will go ahead and say that Shane does reflect my views and most of the views of the Disinformed podcast on that. If you are hoarding, if you are going and you are panic buying, I wish I could punch you in the face and then come upon your face, neck, and chest. But not in a sexual way. Not in a way that you would get any pleasure from. Just in a way that you would know that I'm being disrespectful to you just for the sake of being disrespectful. Like you're being disrespectful to the people that actually need those materials and supplies. I talked to my mom this morning, and she's...
So did I. It's funny.
Well, we'll get to that.
I took the ball gag out for at least 45 seconds to get her opinion on the matter.
You're going to have to conserve supplies with my mom, which means you're going to have to raw dog her for at least another 2 months.
Jesus.
She doesn't have anal warts. I don't need to worry about taking
Just get her a bidet. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's great. I just spit in her asshole. It's fine. Cleans her out just good.
Sorry,
Close
Mom.
enough.
Sorry, God. But I talked to her on the phone this morning, and she was calling. I was like, hey, like, when I saw her, let's do this in full order. Okay, so from last week to this week, I did order the bidet.
Okay.
And Shane, I've seen you almost every day since. So Shane knows, Michael probably doesn't at this point, I'm not endorsed by anybody, but since Alamo Draft House is now temporarily closed, I'm going to go ahead and fully endorse the bidet because it changed my life and I love that stream of water shooting into my beehole. It is the best feeling of all time. And also, I get away now, guys, with using 2 squares per brown. It's fucking amazing.
Do you know what brand of bidet it is that you're using, sir?
I don't, but I'll get back to you on that. It was $25 on Amazon. It's not the frills and whistles. It doesn't have the air blower to dry your butt afterwards. There are electric bidets that have that air dryer thing going on. But anyway, so my mom calls me. I'm taking a shit. So that's why I thought about this.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, how are you doing? I was like, great, I'm pooping. And instead of her going, oh, just give me a call back, she does what my mom does. And she's like, oh, cool. And then we just keep talking, which I don't know. It's so endearing.
Sweet.
So my mom's in late 60s, early 70s. And
so she time traveled?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Beautiful time.
She's in the late 60s, back with Hendrix.
And she goes, well, I was like, when I see her calling while I'm taking a shit, I'm thinking, oh, fuck, tell me that you're not sick, or tell me that my dad's not sick.
And then secondarily, you're like, please let me finish jerking off before I get on the phone with you.
Yeah, I mean, the water's blowing up my asshole, and I really want to finish the simulation.
You do what you gotta do.
Oh, that thought did cross my mind.
I'm sure.
Anyway, so I call him like, hey, how you doing? How's Dad doing? She's like, oh, everything's great. You know, your dad just wanted me to call you to make sure that you guys are doing okay. And I was like, we're adults. We're fine. You have food? Yes, we have food. And so on and so forth. But then she starts talking to me about how she, earlier in the morning, did the whole run to Albertsons because these grocers have decided to open up earlier for just 60 plus.
Ooh, I like that.
And my mom, bless her, she goes, yeah, so, you know, they're doing the 60 plus thing, and I try and tell a joke. Sorry, it's the coronavirus.
Sounds like it.
She goes, for 60 plus, and I try to tell a joke, and I go, oh, well, how did you get in? You know, like, how did you get past the enforcement? And she goes, Jonathan, I'm fucking like 70. Like, she didn't say fucking, but she's essentially like, she rolls right over the fact that I'm trying to, you know, do the little like schmooze that you're supposed to do.
Of course.
She's like, I had 11 children before you wasted space. I don't need your humor.
You slipped out. I didn't even notice that you were alive until you were suckling on the tit. So, but she entails this long story of at the first store that she went to at 5:30 when they open at 5. She's about to start waiting in line, and someone that she knows is exiting the store, and she goes, hey, is it worth it to stand in this line? I'm like, no, they didn't restock anything. They don't have anything to restock.
What?
And she was like, well, I'm really glad that I had a friend that I saw.
Mm.
So she leaves, and she stops at one more grocer before she goes home, and just happens to be the 25th person in line. The person in front of her, once they all get in, because she was talking to him and being nice. That's just her. She's a living saint that Shane is lucky enough to have sex with.
I don't really have sex with her so much as that I just insert
carnal lust.
my full cranium inside of her vagina and try to look around for bats.
Oh, so cool. Well, that's probably why we're so close, because like I came out and you were going in.
Yep.
So
we've created
this
a
individual
nice ellipsis.
This individual in front of her in the line ended up throwing in the last pack of toilet paper in there for her.
Nice.
And it's like the value pack. But yeah, fuck any of you that are panic buying like that. Fuck any of you that are the reason that our drummer, when he gets in from working for the literal devil, who is so stressed out because he has food for his mom, but he doesn't have food for himself, that like, I don't know. Well, now's the time for human kindness, and I feel like generally we are not very kind, and it shows.
The only thing I'll interject before Michael doesn't speak again is...
sorry.
I keep watching him edge up to the mic. It's now my time. It's my moment.
It's charged. That's why I said that we have stuff to shit talk about.
Fair enough.
Asher is a sinner in the eyes of your religion,
the Lord?
Because he is complaining about something he need not subject himself to. So
that's fair.
He could choose to eat things that are not vegan. And I mean, granted,
he's vegan?
Horrible. Yes.
He is.
Yes.
Oh, I did not.
Now, that's a shitty thing to say, but I mean,
vegetarian.
If you get to a point where you're going to starve to death, or you know, you eat a can of tuna fish, I think you might have to bite the bullet from time to time. But I'm sensitive to the situation, and I need to commend you for, the one time I'm not just going to bust John's balls mercilessly.
Oh, shit.
John went and shopped for Asher while we were in tracking drums so that he would actually have food to be able to eat, because the man's a defeatist, so he will never, ever take something as a given. So John's like, well, did you go look at this? Did you go check Sprouts? He's like, yeah, I checked. Like, so you looked at every Sprouts in the entirety of the Valley of the Sun, and you've not seen, and no, he looked at one and maybe didn't see what he wanted, and
it wasn't a selfless act. It's because we're taking his time. Mm-hmm. So the evil corporation that he works for, no, fuck it. Oh, I can't do it.
No, you can.
I can't.
I mean, it's slanderous, so we're just going to say that it is an evil corporation. We won't name it by name.
That's what I was going to do, but I won't do that. So a big box store, one of the big box stores that he works for, they won't let their employees shop for groceries, even if they're on break. Oh my God. Is this Christmas?
Uh-huh.
Shane compliments me. Michael hits his boom stand.
Oh my God.
This is my boom
I get
stick.
to go home and get water sprayed into my ass?
Yeah, it is a daydream, just dripping in lollipops and lilies.
Just wake up, please. Please.
That's how I know that shit's really gone fucked. But so anyway, they won't even let their employees shop on break or even set things aside to purchase after their shift, instead saying when your shift is over, then you may shop. And what happens, as we're all aware now in this fucked up Matrix-esque reality we're living in, everything good is gone. This guy doesn't have fucking time to really do that. And defeash. Say it again.
Defeash?
Anyway, defeatist?
The defeatist personality, yes.
Oh, the defeatist in him is that he will, at that point, after being exhausted from a full work day, because we know him so well, he'll just go to one store, strike out, and then he'll be crippled by the visual, because I know Shane has seen it. I've seen it now 3 or 4 times. Michael, have you gone into a store?
Yes, I've gone to Target twice,
right.
Fry's, etc. Yeah.
Can I speak for all of us? What a gut punch it is to see those empty shelves and the things that people actually value.
It's really demoralizing, to just walk into a barren wasteland that was once a grocery store.
Now, what is hilarious, not to rail, so to Asher's thing, he gets demotivated by seeing that, because that's what it is. It's very just like, fuck, we are this deplorable. And then he'll give up. So when he shows up at the studio and he's saying that, it's like, all right, well, I've got a little bit of thicker skin to this right now, so I have time on my hands while you do your stuff. Like, it's not me trying to be selfless at all. But thank you for the compliment. Yeah. But it's not that. It's just mainly selfish. Like, I want him to be alive so that he can complain about drumming for us more.
Yes.
I could see that.
But it was a kind gesture, and it was much appreciated. So, even if he didn't overly trip over himself to tell you how cool it was nice for me to see.
I expect a blowjob from him when this all blows over.
I don't think he knows how to do it. He's forgotten he has a dick.
Oh, I don't need his dick. I just need...
No, I mean, he doesn't know how they work anymore. He's going to try to start turning it off of your body.
I'll teach him. I kind of just want one of those... so what's the thing in Clockwork Orange where they keep the eyes propped open? I just need that for his mouth. They have the game. The game where you put the...
Oh, I know what game you're talking about.
Where you splay...
Future me is going to look that up.
That's all I need. And then if he's too teethy, you just knock him out.
Well, that's what
Speaking of knocking out teeth, right, Michael, you were trying to say for the past 10 minutes.
All right, well, you
anyway,
had your shot, so.
Okay, I mean, I guess, adding two... Okay, all right, 2 funny things. Both my parents work at Walgreens.
I thought you were going to say dead, and I was like, no, Michael, no!
Unfortunately, the coronavirus. Anyway, they both work at Walgreens. My mom called me yesterday, kind of like what your mom called you.
Yeah.
A disappointment?
that doesn't need to be said anymore. It's automatically assumed.
Is it sad that the first thing that I thought when John was saying that, like, as he's saying it, it's like my mom called to say, it's like, and I'm going, yeah, your dad's still disappointed in you and he wishes that he had pulled out.
Hey, I resemble that statement.
You are still a disappointment to your family and loved ones, and I hate you. How are you doing?
So just to give, like, both my parents work at Walgreens. My dad's a manager. My mom works in the pharmacy. My mom told me that they had gotten a truck where they pretty much get their shipment of stuff. Out of the 1,000 items that they got, 400 up was toilet paper, paper towels, and hand sanitizer. So literally just less than half of their total shipment, and this is Walgreens, which does cosmetics, does food, does like anything that you need. Little less than half of that was toilet paper, paper towels, and hand sanitizer. And they sold out within about, I think if they opened at 9, then 2 hours. Sold out. And they had a rule 2 items at most per any of those things. So it's a thing. But another thing that I wanted to mention, which is a little more lighter, a little more hilarious, just because of how I view humanity, when I went to Target the other day I went there for a booster seat for my girlfriend's daughter.
It's for your girlfriend. It's fine.
She is a little short. That's fine. I know that she started listening to this, so when she hears this, I know because she'll just punch me in the face, and I'll know that that's what.
She won't punch you in the face. She'll punch you in the knee.
And demeanor because because not only did you have to get the booster seat for her to fit into your car, but also she responds to everything you text her as K.
So I'll know that she got to this point when she punches me and she threatens to punch you. But anyway,
she can reach.
Touche.
Your ankles are going to get a drubbing, sir.
I already have 3 dogs.
So we go to Target to pick up a booster seat for her daughter, but we decide we'll do some grocery shopping because why the fuck not? And we pass by the pasta aisle. Everything's gone except for fettuccine for some reason. I have no idea why.
Godless heathens.
And lasagna. And my immediate reaction was, no one knows how to fucking cook lasagna. So that's why no one has bought it. And literally, like, the whole thing there is all the lasagna filled. Like, probably maybe 1 box taken. And then I saw, because kind of emphasizing the deplorability of humanity, all the differently constructed, like, pasta made from chickpeas and those healthy, air quotes, pastas, not touched.
I also think we should comment that this is because we're living in a red state full of individuals who have been inbred over the course of centuries and decided to stay here rather than leave the trappings of the lovely Southwest. Right. So, just to note, we're basically the Alabama of the Western coast.
I will say, though, that is a small population.
I gave you a layup and nobody caught it, so I'm just...
Yeah, you did.
I had something to say as an Arizona native that just
do it.
like...
Fire away, sorry.
But you're right, Roll Tide, etc., etc. I will say, based off of living in Peoria and seeing so many more people moving in, that inbred libertarian red, like, I grew up here, I've been born since the 1900s here, and my family ain't moving anywhere.
I've been born here?
I've been born
since 1927, son.
Oh.
The education system, just Arizona isn't the best. Anyway.
I know. We know teachers.
I learned good. Happen. I learned me something good. Tell you what, that the native I can't even say that.
Jesus, come on, just get it out.
Come on, there are a lot more people moving here than people that were born here. That's what I will say.
Yes.
But the red libertarian vein is still prevalent through everyone that still moves here. You don't see a lot of... I mean, you might see a couple of blue people, like especially like around ASU and all that, because liberal ideas and all that stuff.
Blue people?
Like literally blue?
Yeah.
The blue
Dabu
meanies?
Dabu die.
Abu Dhabi?
If I was green, I would die. Excuse me. We're not going down that route. Anyway, but that's just something I wanted to say. Is that you mentioned the red inbred, and I'm like, that's not necessarily representative of the whole state. That's more representative of the, I almost said deep state. That will be brought up if we get to the COVID stuff today.
Hey, you know how I was digging myself in the hole last week while talking about...
I'm already to Wuhan.
Yeah, Yeah.
I've dug through China. See ya.
Congratulations.
Gone. The hole is so deep.
So, thinking about, I was in Target earlier, and then every store that I've been in, the most hilarious thing to me is that all the cereal is still there and fine. All the snacks are still there and fine, but the frozen pizzas are gone. Yep. And then I saw a meme where, like, all the DiGiorno's are gone except for the one that has pineapple on it. I was like, show me that fucking store, because I'll go buy them, because I don't give a shit. Like, I like pineapple on pizza.
Also, I can pull the pineapple off.
Yeah. Speaking of
Grow
defeatist,
the fuck up.
It's like, yeah, if that's the only pizza left, you're not just... Ignore it, you fucking pussy. Like,
Dude, when I went in where, like, the Safeway I was at, where practically 80% of the store was bought. All the toaster pastries, all the cereal, all the protein bars, and all the, like, granola bars. All that entire cereal aisle was stocked. So I'm just strolling through whistling goddamn Dixie, just throwing out stuff in, because I was like, well, this is stuff I can still eat in the event that we are starving to death. It's still packaged food. Like, so if you're that freaked out, I was like, one, I eat protein bars for breakfast every day because John serves me well. And two, it's just like one of those things, like, it's good to have around. It's my new pearl necklace, if you didn't know where I got it from. I got it at John.
From
Shane Co.
On Scottsdale Road in Tacoma, 1 mile south of Bell Road. Open weekdays till 8, Saturdays and Sunday till 5.
John will be throwing rope all over you all day.
He misspoke. It's actually Shane Comes.
One of the most popular pornography brands, since we're going to stay, I'm going to inject it this time. Because
I got something for you.
I was so... subjected to this at Tower Records when I worked there. The most popular brand of porn that we saw was Shane's World. Okay. And they would come up to me at the counter with Shane on the name tag and hand me the thing, and I'm like, yeah, I don't get any royalties for this shit.
Oh man. So let's do a little follow-up from the story of last week of the gal that's in Japan right now. I didn't remember to mention this, but since we ended talking about an ex of mine, filming us doing pornographic things, that girl that I was talking about, she is the first person I ever found on Pornhub later in my life, as far as people that that have done porn, but not like full-blown acting, but... Like, you stumble upon it and you're like...
Amateur?
Severely. She was on Backroom Casting Couch.
I remember. She has the list. You showed me. Yes, I recall this vividly.
And, oh my god, it was so amazing. And I blocked all this out, but what was really the kicker is that after Backroom Casting Couch, the shtick is they never get the job. She had one more scene, and it was on a fetish...
like army
production
girls
company.
wearing armyboots.com.
It was lesbian based, and it was called Spitsters.
Okay, classy.
And it was basically like the Jackass of Saliva play.
Oh god.
Where it's like the video was like her and another actress, sex worker, whatever. And they're in a 2-story house, like with like a balcony, like the open floor plan kind
doing
of
like
things.
the condor drop on each other.
Yes. So like she's at the bottom, the other girl goes to the top, and she's like, "Oh, you want this fucking spit?" And she's like, "Yeah, please give me the fucking spit." And then just drools spit, and they're both full naked the entire time, just spitting down.
When you originally said jackass of spitting.
You thought they were gonna be like on like carts going down,
Fucking grocery
like,
carts.
No, I didn't know what I was gonna expect, but when you described that, I was like, okay, I can see that. If Jackass was like, you know what, we're gonna spit on each other, like that, I could see would come on that episode. On that episode.
Put your goddamn hands down.
But sorry, I know that doesn't really.
No, it's at this point, I think I enjoy when we are off topic to an extent because it allows us to just sort of enjoy one another's company and personality and not bore each other to tears. So
and what I was telling Michael earlier is that I feel like we can do one more out of, let's call it our production schedule.
Well, I'm just calling this free therapy. So.
I mean,
I like that.
Fucking Christ, we don't need it.
Uh-huh.
It's like the thought of coming in here today and just presenting a topic did not seem like I'd be able to focus on that. And I feel like it's really important. Shane brought it up yesterday while we were in the studio because we're on the fence of just being like, hey, let's just like call it, let's just call it a week. And Shane had a very valid point that swayed me immediately, and that was, I feel like a lot of people right now are going to rely on media. Like they're going to rely on, like, what if we are, for one solitary person, they look forward to Monday to get an episode. Whether it's someone in our circle, outside of our circle, it doesn't matter. We do this because we enjoy it, and hopefully, literally, one other person could enjoy it, and that would make it worth it.
Yeah.
So, that's why I decided to show up today.
Yeah.
That actually is a good idea. I'm just gonna self-insert here, but I'll give the floor back to you. Because when you mentioned do freeform and then a little bit of COVID-19, I'm like, oh, I can make an actual formal episode out of it. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, what I meant by that was that's the topical thing right now, not to latch on, but like the reason that we need just to everywhere is because that's all we have is just a swell of information and misinformation on the topic.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're bringing sand to the beach here. If you want to try to demystify or bring facts about COVID in here, no one gives a flying fuck.
There is a Wikipedia page on the misinformation on COVID-19.
We can read that.
And we won't need to.
But before we get into anything else...
Oh, yeah. We'll keep talking. When we run out of stuff, then I'll present.
Now, the two of you have both hit your shock mount.
Mine didn't make any noise because...
I heard it.
Oh, did you hear that?
I heard it through the headphones,
Is it because they were all the mandated safely 3 feet from one another?
Uh-huh.
So
you're doing that to yourself, dude. You're the
you
editor
really are.
here, so
fuck future me.
I'm just gonna point out I have my hands firmly in my lap, my leg is crossed, and I haven't moved a goddamn inch.
Hands.
But it ain't making noise, so I'm okay with that. Future me is.
There we go.
Starting a fire like a Boy Scout, bitch.
I'm just gonna be yelling obscenities.
Obscenities? You mean obscenities?
No, obscenities.
Welcome to another edition of Michael.
No, ASMR. Fuck that.
Okay, guys.
Anyway.
I am pledging. I am not going to shave or cut my hair until this is over. I hope to look like a filthy apocalypse survivor. That is assuming that we survive.
What are you doing? Playing hockey or something?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Also, the other thought that I had...
If I do that shit, I'm going to look like a Yeti with male pattern baldness.
It's me wishing a motherfucker would.
I'm just going to have a fucking bald spot in like 6 inches of my head, and the rest of me is going to be fur.
It's going to look like someone, like you dove away from a blast and the rest got singed.
I'm going to look like Hunter Thompson and Cousin It had a fucking love child.
And
hot.
Also, I had this thought earlier today, and it was just basically like send your thoughts and prayers to all the people that got into superficial relationships with people.
Oh,
and
so
now
you thought your marriage is a sham and you wonder how long you got to hold the pillow over her face?
Listen, so a friend of mine got into this marriage, and this friend of mine now is going to have to spend a lot of their time with their partner. this friend of mine was telling me that they're really nervous about all the time they're going to have to spend inside of hitting their shock mount.
So Becky was telling you she's worried about being in the house with you for longer than 3 hours at a time. And you may kill each other by the end of this week. Okay, we've lost Michael to the fucking COVID.
So she's doing an in-home workout earlier tonight, and she has like it's like a step stool or whatever. You know, she's doing like jump on, jump off, right?
Okay, right.
And right as she's jumping off to go into a squat, I'm like in the kitchen. I see this happening, so I just make a noise behind her. And she turns around and she's like, nice. It just keeps going. Yeah, I could say like day 3 is going real well. But seriously, like all these people that have like these like trophy wives or trophy husbands, and it's purely like vanity, like there's no substance there, and now they're gonna be in these close quarters. I saw someone, they're like, this was all fuck me. This was all a conspiracy from divorce lawyers so that their profits can go up 7,000%.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the equivalency of like the father of the bride speech where he's in there pulling hot dog buns out of the package, where it's like, oh yeah, so the people over at goddamn like Kleenex and the people at Purell got together with the Charmin motherfuckers and said, hey, let's build ourselves an apocalypse. And so like, oh yeah, we'll get all the money we can out of these dumb sons of bitches, and then congratulations, oh, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Some dumb cross-eyed motherfuckers just ate an armadillo and ruined the world for 40 days, and now we're fine.
Right?
Armadillo bat, yes.
Yeah.
That's, well, I know that won't be the perfect Sigourney segue into it, but
Sigourney?
That could have been a Sigourney segue into
Your head is bobbling.
Jesus Christ,
I'm
man.
going to kill myself on live tape.
Thank you for not saying on live camera.
Well, I am
That comes
filming
later.
all of us, but it's him.
That
comes later.
I'm calling this the hot mess episode because
Oh my
Jesus.
God. Everyone's a hot mess episode with us, sir. You got to understand
Hey
this.
guys,
True.
we have one new listener.
What?
We do.
We do.
have one.
Yes.
Logan.
Yes,
of
he
Clan
did
Trim.
mention. Yes.
He hit me up earlier today, and he said, "Oh my gosh, I'll pull up."
He's
I'll
been
pull up the
listening
text.
since like
No.
for at least
No.
a month.
He's
No,
been
he
lying
only
to you for a
listened
month.
to one episode, and that was it. He did mention he
Fair.
enjoyed the
goop.
really wish you wouldn't, or
Yes.
I'd rather you didn't, from the Spaghetti Monster episode
So
he enjoyed.
no,
He did tell me that earlier today.
no context. At 10:10 this morning, he texts me and he goes, "Good old Trim Genetics," and I go, "What?"
Fuck?
He goes,
Yes,
I'm listening to your guys'
alluded to the
podcast.
fact-
You talked
yeah.
about the other day where you offered me your hat when you handed off the wine ladies to me, and I think you guys will appreciate this. I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember 110% of the things we talk about."
He texted the wrong one. Wrong kid died. He could have said it to the one that made the joke and understood what the fuck he was talking about.
Yeah.
We were saying that you would have grown a beard in 45 seconds if you were Logan going to you. And so then I was like, yeah, it's that good old Trim Genetics. Just, it's just, I can grow hair in 45 seconds.
But anyway, good on you, Logan. Sorry that I don't remember anything that I've said about you on this podcast, but I hope that was good. I hope it was good things.
I hope it was funny.
You're the best of us all.
As with all of our bandmates, we mostly forget the shit we say about them, even when there's tape running, which is going to be great for us for our therapy when we have our Some Kind of Monster documentary
Yeah.
in 40 years. When
We should really say something about Sam to check if she's listening still.
Wait, has she listened at all?
she has.
Yeah, she was part of phase 1 listeners here. She was hitting us up at band practices when we came in. She got the inside jokes and she would be shouting them at us.
She texted me after hearing the second episode. She's like, yeah, you're right. I am a horrible Satanist. And so are you. Because you do this, this, and this. I was like, yeah, I'm still not a jackass with my foot in my mouth most of the time. So,
Considering how much shit you've talked about her, I'm surprised.
Speaking of that, so I am going to put this at the top and see if it flushes out.
okay.
So, Sam is addicted to eating her husband's poop. The only thing she loves more than eating her husband's poop is licking her own poop out of her own toilet bowl. Boom.
No, if
Prove
you
me
really
wrong, Satanist.
If you really want to get her upset, we can talk about the actual state of her toilet bowl, which you'll appreciate this joke. I'm going to include you in this actual episode here, Michael.
Hey!
I went in.
I'm still here.
On the TV!
And I'm Michael.
So we were all there when they were out of town, and I had to use the restroom, and the other was occupied, so I went to use their restroom in their bedroom. It looked like England, like after the bombing runs with the Nazis. Like there's just stuff everywhere. So I walked out into the room, which has, John and Asher, who share a lot of our interests. I said, Sam's toilet looks the way that a toilet bowl in a public restroom in Yarnum would look.
From the game Bloodborne. Papa Guac 666. Find me, bitch.
Appreciate self-insert, but also context. Appreciated.
So basically I walked out and I was like, this bowl's finished.
Yeah, if I had to describe her toilet bowl in 2 words, it's done!
It is done.
It's done. Yeah, it's a miracle of modern science that woman is still walking around on 2 feet with a toilet bowl looking as blown out as that.
I actually thought the inside of the toilet bowl was crafted from human waste. Like it looks that dyed in.
When you're playing like a video game and it's like gothic, or and like things that are obsidian, and like you see it's like decrepit obsidian. It's kind of like her toilet.
Yeah,
it kind of looks like a great celestial being did a big old mud sloppy pie in a toilet.
So Tolkien fans, if the Palantir had to take a shit in a toilet bowl, it would use Sam's.
Oh, also it has bladder problems too.
Yes, it does. Yeah. Yes. Bad
So
infections.
so if Sam actually still listens, this was the biggest test. Just pick one of the 25 things that we just mentioned and bring it to our attention.
If a cave troll had constant diarrhea, that's what Sam's toilet bowl would look like.
And now, speaking of diarrhea,
Michael?
That's actually great. No, I like that.
It's a Sigourney segue.
All right,
that
cool.
felt like tennis.
Yes.
Yeah. You
think
lobbed one up, and I'm like, I got it. I got it.
It's 40 love right
You
now.
just won best pig at the shit snarfing contest. Get to it,
I
son.
wish I could say advantage love, but that doesn't make sense at all with tennis because it has to be 40 love or it'd be advantage if it... I played tennis in high school.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Tell me about it.
Okay.
Just kidding, I don't give a fuck. No, sorry, that was so mean. Continue.
It's okay.
No,
No,
I can believe Michael was involved in a sport where balls were flying at him really fast.
And I didn't know what to do with them.
Exactly.
That's the case.
Just,
I was in the tennis team in high school because we didn't have enough people to fill the JV.
Are we not doing phrasing?
Fell.
No. Everything is intended as it should be said. But actually, I was in the tennis team because they didn't have enough people to fill the whole team. I was the last person in the lowest part, but I was okay. I was in a team. I was playing a sport.
Yeah, you were the water boy for the tennis squad.
Cooler.
You give me too much credit.
You couldn't
He was
find
the
where the
semen
water
boy.
bottle was
No.
either? Okay.
I didn't give any high quality H2O.
How about
I didn't
any
do
hater
any of that.
tots?
No. But I was in it because I was
You like playing with balls, yeah.
Yeah. I could serve, but once they returned that serve, I was fucked.
So you're a giver, not a taker.
Yes. Yeah.
You got served.
Why were we talking about tennis again?
Because I also like tennis.
It's actually pronounced the butt.
I also like tennis.
Anyway, so...
we were lobbying back to you so you
Speaking
can
of
do
shit,
this Sigourney
or
segue.
Speaking of
Diarrhea.
shit, or diarrhea.
Diarrhea.
Yes.
Hey, we're doing a
Okay.
good job with this ADHD shit. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I'm
trying to
like,
drive this thing. I really am.
You guys you're doing better than me. I can't even follow your ADHD.
Go comatose, baby. Go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about COVID-19, which is actually short for Coronavirus Disease 2019.
Okay.
Because that's when it originally started.
Okay.
So that's when the world tour kicked off.
Yep.
Yeah.
There are T-shirts.
World Star.
No,
thank you. That's actually the disease. COVID-19 is the disease. And
Wait, your disease is killing me.
Shut up.
It's twice in like a 48-hour period. I'm impressed.
I'm going to listen to
the
that.
virus itself is actually called SARS-CoV-2.
I thought it was that Chinese virus.
So it's called General Chow's orange chicken.
No, it's
General So's chicken.
Sorry, to backtrack to make sure that I don't sound like I'm being censored for no reason.
Yes, you are. Congratulations.
That is
Welcome
what
to the
Trump
lane.
has been saying, and everyone's like, you can't fucking say that. And he's like, what? It's Chinese and it's a virus. It's a Chinese virus.
Yeah, you can in this country, apparently.
That really creates like xenophobia and things. He's like, I'm not hungry. Chinese virus.
I'm not hungry, thanks. It's the same
and,
thing.
He's Southern now.
Yeah.
God, I hope so.
Huge.
Anyway,
yeah.
Get into it.
So, the symptoms. So I got most of this off of the CDC, the Center of Disease Control, I think is the website. The symptoms are fever, cough, shortness of breath, and diarrhea.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm calling bullshit on that.
Yeah.
Wait,
Literal
diarrhea? No,
bullshit.
diarrhea's on there.
No, diarrhea is not on there.
I thought it was.
It is
not. No, it's not.
No.
The whole reason why people are buying up toilet paper is a complete farce. I have no idea where that started from.
It is. I actually do know why.
Ooh, please tell.
I can drop some knowledge on you motherfuckers.
Drop it. Like it's hot.
The reason that everyone needs toilet paper is because... I'm going to wait until you're finished drinking so that we don't have spit take here. One person coughs and everyone shits themselves. So, toilet paper, big requirement.
Yeah. Fair?
Yes.
No, I'll give you that. Yes. There is nothing with SARS, because that is essentially what it is. It's SARS, but it's a different strain of SARS that from the outbreak that happened in 2003, I believe it was a different strain. But it is essentially SARS the way that I read it from CDC. But the main symptoms are fever, cough, and shortness of breath. Okay.
Cool.
And compulsive listening to mumble rap.
So SoundCloud rapper enjoyers are fucked.
Yep. The 2020 mixtape game is tough.
I will also say, because I thought this was interesting... emergency warning signs. I know, that was a weird emphasis.
You're fine. What are the emergency warning signs?
Persistent pain or pressure in the chest. Bluish lips or face, which comes from the shortness of breath or...
Right.
You said you saw a bunch of blue people on campus, right?
Yeah.
Dabu-dee-dabu-die.
Abu Dhabi.
New confusion. This was on the website. New confusion or inability to arouse.
So not getting hard?
That's what it said. That's what I'm reporting.
Man, I feel like every dude bro in ASU is freaking the fuck out right now. Like, I just can't get fucking hard. I just can't fucking do it.
Yeah, I'm also calling bullshit on that one too.
No.
So there's a circulatory issue that is involved here as well. Or do they mean aroused as in one cannot bring one's attention span back?
That is what it said, and that is what I'm reporting. It did not give any more information.
And we wonder why everybody is nonplussed in this country and losing their minds, because it's like, oh, we're going to be cute with our verbiage.
Yeah, everywhere else, like that, because I looked through the CDC website on the coronavirus in a decent amount of detail, given the time constraints.
Right.
And most of it was fairly descriptive. That was not. If you, it's like the opposite of having an erection for more than 4 hours. If you don't have an erection out of the blue, apparently you have coronavirus.
Is that why they're claiming that this so dramatically affects the elderly?
Apparently?
If you can't get a hard on, and so kids and the elderly are being dramatically affected.
Meanwhile, I'm rock hard in the morning going, hey, you don't have to go to work for another 3 hours instead of the usual an hour ago. Let's bang one out. Put one in the books. No, I'm stressed.
So here's another reason why you're worried about cohabitating with your wife in close quarters.
Isolation.
Now, see, normal God-fearing people, those that are concerned with the whims of Quab,
Or
would
Satan
see
fearing.
their wife jumping up and down on a, little slant board and be like, yeah, I'm gonna give you the babies. I'm gonna get you pregnant. Hold up. But no, you're over there making fart noises and being, infantile with your humor. So I'm just saying, maybe you should drill down a little bit.
Well, bookmark. So,
here's the thing. She does it in the nude, which is really awkward for the dogs.
Almost. When Becky comes home from work, she does what any of us can respect, which is you just want to get into comfy clothes as quick as possible.
That's any woman on the planet.
But she takes it to a degree that I've never seen. Like, it's like literally like door is locked, one step, one article comes off. Next step, another article comes off. So
That's
by
impressive.
by the time she's walking up the stairs, she's in nothing but panties, and that's it.
Uh-huh.
And I told her this story today because I was following her up the stairs, and what started off as me doing a bit is now what I do just religiously, where if her tits are out, I do nothing but just stare at them. Well, that's all I do. I can't help it. I'm a fan. So she's walking up the stairs, and I'm getting this like awesome view of like some side boob going on, especially as she's rounding the corner into the room. And I was like, "Hey, have you ever?" When I was a kid or younger, and the Tomb Raider movie came out with Angelina Jolie, and she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Have you seen it?" She goes, "Probably at some point." I was like, "Well, at like the 15 or 16 minute mark in this movie, Angelina Jolie is getting out of the shower. And this is a PG-13 movie. She's getting out of the shower. She takes off her towel and she turns. And for one glorious second, you get this beautiful side boob shot with a little bit of nipple. And when I had my sexual awakening, I jacked off to that like 25 times. And Becky's looking at me like, "Okay." And I was like, "So every time I'm following you when you're basically naked and you turn a corner, it captures a little bit of that nostalgia for me."
What the fuck is this?
So I didn't know that we devolved into John's, like, ham-fisted attempts at foreplay with his wife. Hey, Becky. Did you ever see Two Girls, One Cup? Because every time that I hear you having nasty, nasty diarrhea in the morning, I'm reminded of Two Girls, One Cup, and it gets me semi-hard. You think you want to fuck me on the toilet bowl?
It's really the only place I come. He's dead. We killed him.
When I said this was free therapy, I wasn't being literal. I don't have anything I can help you with here. Seek absolution elsewhere, because I have nothing to give you.
Oh, I'm not looking for anything, but, I mean, he seems like he has shortness of breath, so I think we need to go get him a test kit.
Yeah, we made a horrible decision by, allowing ourselves into a room with this guy. I've got the 6 feet here, but you're well past being too close.
At least 2.5 to 3.
I'm sorry. I'm more like 13 inches or something like that.
You're
I don't
sorry?
know.
You have SARS?
I'm kind of treating this like when I was single and on Tinder, and before I would have sex without a condom.
So you're going to make Michael eat out of the cat dish?
Yeah. So I would go, "Hey, from one consenting adult to another, I'm clean. Are you clean?" And she'd be like, "Yeah, I'm totally clean." And then that's how I did a lot of my mid-20s fucking, and miraculously never got a disease.
I was going to say an itching the next day, or
Now, I want to clarify that John's idea of not getting a disease, and I quote, is, "My dick hasn't fallen off yet, so I must be okay."
That is
Okay.
true.
So we're going to need to start discussing sexually transmitted diseases and their signs at some point so that we can educate John as to why that itch isn't going away and he's chafing so much.
So, this is really bad, and I'm reluctant to share this.
Oh my god.
These small bugs keep jumping out of my underwear, and I don't know what to do with them. I've created a commune, and I feed them routinely with my dog's drool, and somehow I've got this weird little ant farm of my own little lice.
And the weirdest thing is they've established an economy, so now they are trading and selling my pubes.
And all of them are hoarding toilet paper for some reason right now.
So, I wasn't joking about that. I was hyper irresponsible about sex.
Your sisters told me.
Yeah, no, I wore a condom with her. No.
Yeah, no one wants to have that, you know.
Where are we going?
Hey, listen, a Lannister always pays their debts.
No. So I was hyper irresponsible, and when I met Becky and things were getting super serious,
I started her if she had problems with me sleeping.
No,
with
I
my
did the
sister
same thing because essentially, like, our relationship was born out of trying to scare each other out. Like, just being like, I am going to be so brutally honest with you that after this night, you won't want to see me again. And that backfired in a breathtakingly, like, awesome way for me. But that being said, I hadn't been to a primary care doctor in forever. I hadn't had blood work done in forever. So, super irresponsible. And I'm not, like, bragging about telling these women that, like, I was clean. But, like, for all intents and purposes, like, to my knowledge, yeah, of course I was, but it wasn't from going and getting tested. So I'm not saying to do this, I'm just saying this is what I was a fucking moron and did.
Yes.
So the time came after Becky and I got married, where I finally was going to a primary care physician, like, for the first time. And her and I had been together for 2.5 years at this point. Nothing had gone wrong with her. That was a constant source of anxiety. Fucking hear me out.
2.5 years? That's a long-ass time!
Also, I was waiting for something to go wrong with her.
No, well, it's not that I was waiting for something to go wrong. It's that if you have anxiety and you have that like mental wiring where, like, even if things have the potential to go wrong, you don't really have the tools to be able to address it properly without guidance.
But like, after 2.5 years!
So, I would be remiss if I didn't say the main thing that I was anxious about going to the doctor for the first time in, like, 6 years. I was so anxious, especially all the jokes that we told in the band and all this stuff. It's like, if I came back with anything, I have to go tell, at this point, my wife that there is something wrong. But all clear, guys, so I didn't learn a goddamn thing. No.
Sounds like Arizona.
No. So that's a cautionary tale. Get yourself checked. Don't be fucking stupid.
And he also means for this virus that everybody's afraid of, by the way.
Yeah, let's go ahead and...
You fucked a bunch of, random strangers and hope not to contract something.
Don't just think that you're okay. And that's... No, thank you for bailing me out of this hole that I've done.
I don't think I really did that, John. But
You've gone... I don't even know how you keep digging. You've already gone past China. You're already through the other side of the earth.
We're back to... By the way, I may have infected my wife with an illness, and I'm just waiting for her to come home one day and be like, why in God's holy name did you not tell me that I was getting crotch rot from you, you son of a bitch? Sign these divorce papers right now.
Yeah.
And you're just playing Russian roulette on that. Was like, maybe today's the day that she comes home and says,
well, 2.5 years.
Yeah. So you play this, like, it's, what is it? Moral licensing, where, like, things haven't gone wrong, so they're not going to go wrong. And then you pepper in a little bit of, like, some emotional problems and some, like, mental health problems on top of that. And you get this very weird cocktail of, well, nothing bad can happen to me because nothing bad has happened to me. So when you're looking back and not cringing, that's how you know that you're not evolving. So I look back and I cringe, and I know because I'm cringing that I have progressed as a human, like, with my morals and my standards. And at that point, so that's why I'm okay sharing this story, because I hate the person that I was more than I hate the person. more than I hate the person than I am now.
Yeah.
Which I think is progress. To the girl who called me and said, "Hey, I might have herpes." I'm kidding.
So the moral of the story is live and learn and then get swabs. So
And test yourself. And be tested.
I test myself every time I come over here, and I still haven't broken yet.
No, we haven't killed you yet, despite our best efforts.
If only.
Sigourney, segue back into the real discussion.
Thank you
What you
for
should
the,
be tested for.
What you
Terrible
do
bookmark.
if you are tested and you come up positive for whatever.
Yes,
mainly
Sheik
COVID-19.
always positive. I always endeavor to be positive. Never negative me. Not once I find to be negative. I'm positive.
Okay.
Just because I have SARS and am bad guy doesn't mean I'm bad guy.
I thank you for the
Or
reference.
you
welcome.
Colossus?
No, it was a Ralph.
Ralph Macchio, yeah.
Yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph. It's Zangief
Oh,
from
okay,
Street
I don't
Fighter.
get it. Yeah, I don't
you
get it.
will get it.
Eventually, when you watch Disney movies or whatever.
No,
Anyway,
when you
sure.
bang another strumpet.
That's also fair.
Anyway, what
Go.
to do if sick? Stay home. Duh. Separate.
Separate.
Seabreeze? Stoli.
Febreze, Seabreeze.
Rocks.
Thank you. Separate yourself from other people in your home. Stay away from others. Limit contact with pets and animals.
What?
Since
No, that's
there has
bullshit.
been... Jesus Christ. Okay, alright, you know what? You called bullshit a little... a little too early, but you called the bullshit essentially there. They do recommend limiting contact with pets and animals, but I was going to say there were cases of cross-species contamination with dogs and cats, but with pet dogs and cats, but there hasn't been. So you effectively called bullshit a little too early, like prematurely, like, bullshit.
That's
Sorry,
our
this
usual
never
problem.
happens.
My dick has not fallen off by paying more attention to my animals as of the past couple weeks. That's why I called bullshit.
How are you paying attention to them, John?
Do you
Balls
I
wanna
don't
know?
want to know. I don't want to know.
Is that the sounds of the snarfing pug again?
Oh, it'll sound a little different this time.
Yeah, because then when it's done, John will go,
Well, my dick hasn't fallen off, Shane.
it's the title of this
Still
fucking episode.
now.
Apparently, my dick hasn't fallen off. COVID-19 and
Leave
you.
some mystery. Just call it fallen off? Question mark.
Well, shit,
Yeah.
you guys, I mean, you're 2 for 2.
John's new television game show on Fox Network is going to be Dick Off.
Check off.
Will your
thanks.
dick fall off after you put it in a vat of battery acid? We'll find out tonight on
She has
Dick Off.
a name.
Yeah, I know, it's Becky. I've heard.
Okay, so...
Tell me the
like
story.
I said, 2 for 2. The source and sped of the... Sped.
Oh, man.
Source and spread.
The source
the
and
virus.
spread of the virus,
Yes.
okay.
Like the MERS outbreak of 2012, which I don't recall.
I don't recall.
They also gave Christ gold and frankincense. Thank you.
Ooh, thank you. And the SARS outbreak of 2003. All 3 of these outbreaks are part of the same family of beta coronavirus.
Cucks.
Thank you. Which all have their origin in dogs.
Fucking
Okay.
cuck ass dogs.
I'm not believing that. No.
Call it.
I'm
Say
calling
it.
bullshit on
Okay,
that.
yeah.
Dogs didn't give us
Jeez,
no goddamn
all right.
virus.
We're swatting
Damn,
this away.
Okay,
This
I
is
guess.
tennis.
Yeah,
You're a bitch ass
alright.
peasant.
It's pronounced penis.
You guys got all 3 of my lies. Congratulations.
Ooh.
You did. You did.
All right.
And you got my disease, which is killing me.
And
Thanks,
you-
Click, click,
Saliva.
boom. Yeah.
Yes. You caught
Yes.
the diarrhea.
By the way, it's back in your system.
You caught the cross-species transmission, and you caught the origin in dogs. It's actually
You could
bats.
say that we are the survival of the sickest.
I like what
I
you're doing. I like where your head's at.
I don't.
Hey, John,
So
you're
can-
my hero. And
Could you
they say that a hero Give guidance.
Could you find it in your heart to let me rest in pieces?
I can certainly try. All right, Michael, I'm sorry. We're bringing back. I'm shutting it off right now. Here goes.
Well, okay, so based off of that, the fact that you called bullshit on dogs, do you remember what animal they actually have their origin in?
Absolutely,
Bats.
John.
Bats.
You just said bats
Glass.
like 5 seconds ago.
You are...
Tubes.
I can smell really far.
What's your favorite planet? Mine's the sun.
I'm gonna need to go to the sun after this.
If the moon was made of yellow cheese, would you eat it?
If you're a hot dog, would you eat yourself?
Only sexually.
Hey!
Okay, early on, many of the patients at the epicenter of the outbreak in Wuhan had some link to a large seafood and live animal market, suggesting an initial animal-to-person contact, which has since evolved to person-to-person contact as it infects the global population. So you guys kind of figured out that...
Yeah, sorry, champ.
Yeah. Okay, so now the fun part. I'm just going to talk about some fake news things that I found.
I'm riveted.
I'm just going to say, because you guys already figured out all the lies, there's no more lies. I'm just saying the stuff that I found. Okay?
So we can just have fun. This
is just fun.
Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little
all
lies.
All giggles and shits. Holding your breath is not a simple check for COVID-19.
Yeah, if you could hold it longer than 10 seconds is the myth.
You found that, yeah.
I think we may have read the same article, because Shane and I have been in the same room for probably like 48 hours worth of time. And
you held your breath the whole time?
No, I just meaning I've been on Twitter the entire time.
John thought that they meant if you could not ejaculate for 10 seconds, that meant you didn't have it.
Well, you and I both fail, Shane.
Yes. Oh, trust me, I'm done in 2.
I'm already done. Yeah, that's true. I actually found that on Snopes.
Sweet.
Yes.
Snopes.
I found this also, and I have links. They'll be in the show notes, whatever. Snorting cocaine does not protect you from COVID-19.
Well, if one Nathaniel can please report to the principal's office.
Ouch. I'm sorry. Oof.
Sorry. I used to like his jokes.
For the sake of our, future defamatory lawsuit that we're going to be getting, John Watkins can be named in the suit. Neither you or I are claiming that gentleman does any amount of legal substances at all.
Oh, I just said for him to report to the principal's office. I didn't say that he was doing anything.
There was a tacit implication in you sort of making a collusion betwixt the cocaine and his name, John.
I don't understand your sentence, and I won't respond to it.
Yeah.
Bruh.
So you're our president?
Double bruh.
Oof.
The Simpsons did not predict COVID-19.
No, they didn't.
I did actually look that up because I was surprised that The Simpsons predicted X again. I know, right? From the 1993 episode Marge and Chains, there is a scene where an Asian character coughs into a package addressed to Homer. Sorry, am I too close to the mic? Do I sound too good?
Am I a golden god? And
As of right now,
a genius?
You sound so good I can't pay attention to you. So,
Well,
there
all
you
right.
go, you big brown lips.
In the actual episode, the packager who is working in Japan transmits an illness deemed the Osaka flu. According to the writer of said episode, it was supposed to be a quick gag or a quick joke about how the flu got there, because typically flu or those sort of those viruses don't last long on surfaces, which is funny considering that the beta coronavirus or the SARS-CoV-2, the actual virus, because the disease is COVID-19, just want to be a little bit more
what do you have
scientifical.
against brevity?
A lot.
Why is it the Leland Stanford Union University COVID, coronavirus beta motherfucker fed, turtle wax and sea shanty?
Well, this is coming from the guy who proudly displays his copy of Aragon on PlayStation 2. A failed movie with a failed game companion.
Hey, Jeremy Irons is in that.
And
in him.
Malkovich.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's a hallmark of quality. Yes, you're right. John
Malkovich. Great actor. I hope I
live
long
him
enough
by
to
name.
see. Yeah, I hope I live long enough to see his locked away movie that won't be released for 100 years.
I have no idea what you're referring to. Please explain.
As far as I'm aware, he shot a movie about himself or something like that he locked away for 100 years. I'll put it in the show notes.
There is a film called Being John Malkovich, which is out in circulation. So
he shot another movie, and the whole idea was that it would be released like a time capsule 100 years after it was filmed.
So he and Prince have the same idea? Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe
cool.
So. Yes.
Awesome.
I will say, as an aside, the video game, way better than the movie, because I was a big fan of the books. Did you like the PlayStation 2 Lord of the Rings video games?
I did, actually.
It's a lot like that, where it's a common
nice.
combo.
So it's ripping
button.
off something successful to try and get money for itself.
If you ignore the storyline in the
you mean
for the video
the main
game?
thing that people need to enjoy something, which is
I wouldn't say that.
A circle jerk? Then yes. If you ignore that, the game's good. Anyway, I don't know why you were bringing that up.
Because I look at it every time I record now.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
right fucking in front of me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's looking at me when I masturbate, so that brings everything together.
Oh man, why did you have to let me
clothing.
sit in this chair?
I don't use that chair anymore.
My arms are sticking to it, and I should have known.
My grandfather died in that chair, just so you know.
Oh, thank Christ.
Yeah. He died doing what he loved. Anyway.
You?
I walked into that.
This explains an awful lot about your relationship with, father figures.
I'll give you
Notice
that.
me.
Daddy, no!
No, Daddy, no!
Okay.
I'm going to learn you something today, Michael.
You won't wear a shirt and you'll cry!
So I mentioned the 5G one last week.
Yes.
Sorry.
The last one I want to bring up, because it was just my favorite conspiracy theory, goes if either of you heard about QAnon. If you haven't,
Jesus.
Okay, cool. I know you have. A QAnon is essentially, it's the idea that there's someone that's very, very close to Trump that is kind of revealing, air quotes, the
Yes, the future, or he's from a parallel dimension where Trump led the existence.
Yeah.
Yes, and brought us from the brink.
I knew he meant that.
Yes,
okay.
yes, I'm
but,
with you.
The current idea is that the coronavirus is a deep state, it's a conspiracy by the Trump administration to arrest all the people that are part of the deep state and kind of disguise it as you're in isolation, when in actuality you are arrested because you were part of that. Part of the Epstein plane, fill in the blanks, the Pizzagate, all that shit.
I love pizza.
Yeah. I love pizza.
Shane, do you recall Sam's conspiracy theories from the studio?
Ooh,
on day one?
I like hearing them.
I mean, you're assuming that I, 1, listen to a word that comes out of her mouth, and 2, understand it. So, okay. I mean, I'm operating at a double blind here.
Our dear beloved Samuel,
who is, if she's still listening, bravo. We talked shit about you earlier, and you have.
Her biggest running conspiracy theory, and she prefaced it by saying, well, obviously I don't believe in this, but then happened to mention the movie The Happening about,
That's like saying I'm not racist, but
20 times. She mentioned the movie 20 fucking times. She goes, well, what if this is all happening kind of like The Happening, and all the people that don't believe in climate change are the ones that are gonna die, and the virus is attacking those people specifically, which is why it is going after boomers. And so all the boomers are going to be gone, and then the earth will be happy again, and then there won't be people hanging in the trees.
So Sam, by the way,
coming to my second grade presentation.
We love you. This has been my TED Talk.
I do love you, Sam.
Okay.
And then
he loves you, but you're an idiot.
I love her to death, but correct me. That is what she
she doesn't believe.
But not really.
No, I think she's just trying to make a joke.
Yeah, she presented this all as like, here are these two crazy conspiracy ideas, and the other one was like, what if this is an idea by President Trump so that he can begin his dictatorship?
Okay.
So this is his Emperor Palpatine's taking over the Senate, basically.
All right. That makes more sense. All right.
So...
It is an election year, so obviously, you know.
I skip over that. Shane, I thought about you this morning when I was masturbating.
Naturally.
No.
Your mother was there too, so
I've kind of been shifting gears a little bit, and instead of reading with my reading a book while I drink my coffee in the morning.
Reading with my dick?
Yeah. Instead I've been either watching a show, playing a game. I'm just kind of flipping it a little bit just to change it up.
Your cock again?
But I was checking Amazon Prime, yes.
Cock
and and free on Prime, which was the price I was willing to pay, was Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. And I was really hesitant to watch that movie because I'd heard people kind of drag it through the mud a little bit. That being said, I didn't know their connection and whether or not they really would enjoy the movie. And all the while through the movie, I was assuming that, I don't know why I was assuming it, that you hadn't seen it. But from a prior interaction before we started recording, you have seen the movie.
Yes, I have. Mm-hmm.
The entire movie, I was like, Shane is going to love this. At least a majority.
I mean, I don't know why you would think that.
Why?
Since I hate everything Kevin Smith has ever done and loathe him personally.
Sarcasm, my second best friend.
Yes, indeed.
Hello, darkness.
That movie was meta beyond all belief, and it took me up until, spoiler alert, let's just spoiler blanket it right now and just talk freely, up until the end when it is Kevin Smith playing himself in a meta role, and discussing I had a heart attack, and then I guilted all of my friends to come into this movie, because I almost died. I was like, oh! So I'm curious to get your thoughts. Sorry, I'm getting really excited because I've wanted to talk to you about it.
Stop staring at that.
I can't help it.
Even though it was ham-fisted, having Kevin Smith write an epilogue to Chasing Amy into that movie was very emotionally satisfying. Amongst other things. What I want a true diehard Kevin Smith Smodcast fan to tell me their unabashed feelings on that movie.
I enjoyed it a lot. It was entertaining for those that were fans of kind of Jay and Bob to begin with, and I'm like the Jay and Bob Strike Back. He is pretty unabashed about saying that it was just a ripped shot for shot, like he basically just cloned that movie. It's called Reboot for a reason.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, he died.
This is not Corona. This is the fact that, singing for several, days. Hours and trying to do a bunch of nonsense and then having people cram themselves into your rectum for 8 hours straight. It's,
guilty.
Ooh.
Yep. I gotta tell you, the porn business is rough, boys. But, needless to say, I enjoyed the movie. It is tongue-in-cheek in all the right ways. Sometimes I felt some of the jokes didn't necessarily land with me, but, I think it's also because there is a saturation point with me now with Kevin Smith where I think he has what we would affectionately refer to as, he refers to them as potholes, but the stoner difficulty of reiterating the same point 47 times that someone else in our life does. And so, long story short, too late. Yeah, it's interesting, the plot points where you see okay, well, I've seen this joke a couple hundred times, right. And then others where it's fun and you get the quaint callbacks of Brody making the and yes, I thought the Chasing Amy sequence was glorious, and the fact that they've got small children there being utilized, and to see Ben and Joey reprising the roles, it was a fun movie. It was nostalgia all the way and entertaining, so yeah, I enjoyed it.
Before I ask Michael if he knows what this vehicle is, I think just in brief recollection of watching it earlier today, I think probably my favorite under the radar bit in the entire movie is Kevin Smith with Matt Damon tying, what does he call it, the Smodcast universe, or is what the
it's the Askewniverse, or the View Askewniverse, yeah.
Tying his universe into the Bourne identity, where he ties a character from his concept that is played by Matt Damon, and then Matt Damon going, then I woke up in the middle of the ocean, and I had a new identity, and it was highly alludes to the fact that after the events of Dogma,
that Loki turns into Jason Bourne. Yeah, it's great.
That's canon to me now. That's absolute fucking canon. Michael, do you know anything that we've been talking about?
You mentioned Dogma. I did see Dogma a long time ago. Okay. I have also seen, I believe, Clerks 1 and 2.
Okay, well then you're far along.
In a drunken haze, so I don't remember a lot of Clerks 1 or 2. I remember
that
the
is your
donkey
life.
for Clerks 2. But other than that, not really much.
It's interspecies erotica, fucko.
Exactly. But Dogma and the Clerks, those are the ones I'd say.
Yeah.
1, 2.
The Clerks cast.
The Clerks.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Oh, man.
One ring
Dogma
to rule them all. Look at the two of you whipping out your preciouses.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Precious.
It's happening.
I was just trying to think whether or not we should announce that we might try to do some remote recording to be safe in the future, or whether or not we're just going to raw dog this.
No, I think
when do we play by the rules?
So
the head movement is killing me here. You look like a chicken having a seizure.
Let's not clear the air isn't the right word, but let's say this now, just in case we go forward with it, and we predictably, inevitably fail. We
not with that attitude.
We might try some remote recording while this whole thing plays out in the interest of our own safety and sanities. And trying to limit, Shane especially, because Michael and I live less than a mile away from each other at this point, to limit the travel and the stress. So we might try to do some remote recording. So if there's a dip in quality...
Well, see, the nice thing about what will happen with the remote recording is if we do it the way we're planning, it's going to sound really similar to what we're doing now, because I will be recording with the same equipment, same setup into Audacity. So all of this is going to sound the same. We will just probably have a little lag between me making the transcontinental, sort of like data sweep over here. So there'll be lags where I'm not in the room and maybe a joke won't necessarily land right on time because we have a lag between commentary, but should be mostly the same.
Yeah, so I think we're going to try and make that work in the interim. The inevitable goal is to be in the same room because for some reason that I can't. Yeah, I was gonna say that. Some reason I can't quantify. I just like seeing you assholes while we record because it really helps with a human element. But if there is a temporary dip. That's the reason. But also, with that being said, if it's anything severe, then we're going to abandon that and we're going to be in the same room. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah, I sincerely doubt it.
What'd you say?
We'll die together.
We'll die together.
But no, I sincerely doubt there's going to be that dramatic a drop-off.
No,
it'll basically be like having a phone conversation.
Yeah, and in all honesty, I think what it'll do for the future, once we get through this, because we are going to get through it.
What?
I know, surprising, right? When we do get through it, it might open up avenues for us to do cooler shit in the future. When Michael's mentioned, doing readings or things like that. If we're in the comfort of our own homes, and meaning everyone has free time on top of that as well, there could be additional content that could come from developing this. So it's kind of a weird silver lining, and I didn't articulate that to you guys before we recorded, but that's kind of how I view it.
I like it.
I listened to a podcast related to Kevin Smith. It's called Tell 'em Steve Dave, which has got Walter Flanagan and Brian Johnson and then Brian Quinn from television's Impractical Jokers. Brian Quinn had throat surgery, and he was only able to type, so he basically had an iPad that he would type text into, and then it would speak it out loud, and they still recorded the podcast with him typing his text in.
Oh, man.
And everyone responding, so it would be like, oh yeah, I bet you fucked your mother, Quinn. And he's like, ha 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 ha. Funny. So it can't get any worse than that. And they still have their fan base, so I'm sure we can make this work.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And again, strange times.
Quite.
So everything that we've said, hopefully it's been funny where it needs to be and serious where it needs to be as well. Because we're not trying to make light of people suffering, because that's not,
shit's hilarious on its own. We don't need their help.
Yeah. That being said, still, if you want to go ahead and rewind to the beginning of this episode, I do agree 135,000% with everything that Shane has said.
I just needed to scream for a minute.
It's
helps.
great, and stick with it and stay safe. That's all I got. There's no. I'm not trying to stand on a soapbox, but
too late.
It's
wear a condom over your nose.
Yeah. At this point, the only thing that we have is each other. No, it's Father John Misty on pure comedy.
What a sad state of affairs that is, then.
Yeah.
Ouch.
It's Father John Misty on pure comedy with his end note from that song just being like, I hate to say it, but each other is all we've got. And that's exactly how I feel right now.
So our message is, make fart noises when we jump around. And
make people fucking laugh, man. There's so many cool things, and I want to talk to you, Shane, at some point about doing it. Like live streams are going to be so, not important, but, just more fun to do because people are desperate for it.
Yeah.
We as humans, we need connection. That's why we got addicted terribly to social media. And but porn. Now is when we can, and porn. And now is when we can flip and reverse that addiction for good. Mm-hmm. Personally, I want to start doing some live streams, just playing maybe a couple songs, just to fucking do it.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about the podcast when you're talking about live streams.
If we're self-aggrandizing anything, it's not this podcast.
Oh,
apparently.
Ooh, get him, Noop Noop.
I should say this gentleman over here.
Capital oof here.
I apologize to anybody that I need to. But yeah, sorry for standing on a soapbox for a second there. It's weird not to fall into sentimentality for a second, and you need to remind yourself that, even when things are getting fucking crazy and hazy and gray, that, there is something past it.
If Christopher Nolan taught us anything, it is always darkest before the dawn.
And how?
No, a little levity goes a long way, and I have always appreciated. I'm not going to use the term commonly associated with it because I don't want to be called racist again. But the quote unquote, dark comedy or otherwise known as black comedy.
I would have given you that. Common.
I have always made a point of saying that tends to be what I enjoy, the gallows humor of it all, as I would prefer to feel like, if I can't point and laugh at the void, then it kind of ruins the entire meaning of the thing for me. It's more fun to just stare death in the face and smile. And that's what we're all here to do, is just, one laugh at a time, one cough at a time, one death at a time. Just enjoy life while you have it, because life, as George Carlin says, is worth losing.
Yeah.
Ooh, callback.
Man, I like it. I like it a lot.
That's what we're here
for. Goosebumps. Ooh.
R.L. Stein. Yeah,
that's just the chlamydia that I left on your toilet seat coming to claim you.
Jeez.
Anyway. From one disease-infested corner of the universe to another, the good folks here at the Disinformed podcast want to let you know, we love you. We care about you. Unless you are taking toilet paper in quantities that is unreasonable, or you're stealing beans from our drummer's mouth. In which case, we know where you are, and Jay and Silent Bob will find you.
Or Iron Bob.
Even better. I am Iron Man. Michael, do you have anything else you want to, wrap
closing
up
words
in a beautiful little bow for your COVID discussion?
COVID
or
is
coronavirus versions 2.0.
Okay.
I feel like a beta coronavirus instead of an alpha coronavirus, and I think that summarizes my thoughts on the matter.
Thank you.
beta, cuckold. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Cuckleberry Thin.
I also like Kenneth.
Oh, fuck.
Well.
Thanks for being here, guys.
We appreciate everybody listening. As always, we're going to get back on, and Steven's going to be really upset with me now because he has now had 3 weeks in a row where I have promised him that we are going to discuss young Earth creationism, and it hasn't happened.
Okay.
That will be next week. I absolutely promise.
So, guys,
otherwise, kill me.
I will do that for free.
Why did you make the clappy?
Put your middle hand, or your middle hands, put your hands in the middle.
I'm not whipping it out, not without provocation.
Put your hands in the middle.
I'm not
Next
touching
week,
a goddamn thing.
We are doing whatever that topic was. I wasn't paying attention to what it
Young
was
Earth
called.
creationism is on the docket. That's going to be the next one. And because we've gone, without topic for so frequently, we will follow that up with what won the poll. For those of you who have been paying attention to the Twitters, we are going to be discussing wiggity wee jacks, the Night Witches.
That's what won, is the Night Witches?
Yes.
What the fuck? I thought the Exorcist was gonna win.
Well, that's just because that's what you wanted. But no.
Yeah.
Apparently the audience has spoken, and I'm gonna point out, if you ever needed to have an ego check, I got one when I pulled that thing up. Do you want to know how many people voted?
3.
5.
6.
Whew.
Nailed it.
So there were 3 that voted for the Night Witches, 2 that voted for the Exorcist, and another one that did for the Marphalites.
Well, the Marphalites should have won.
Well, that also means
forever.
I'm still going to do the
that.
Exorcist myths as well, because I'm not one of those where I'm going to throw the baby out with the bathwater, because I think both of those got a reasonable response of the 6 people who gave a fuck to press a button on a goddamn internet
Twitter
browser.
is dying. We all are.
God, I wish that people that use Twitter would die.
Hey, but if you want... Let's twist it here. We actually have some good listenership numbers, which is pretty surprising. So thank you to the people that are actually listening.
No, I would just want to. I'm shitting on
engaging.
everyone. I hate everything indiscriminately. We've
Let's
discovered
start a poll
this about
on
me.
how much Shane hates you, and we'll do percentages. And if you get the percentage correct, then you get a free prize at www.idiot.com/disinformed podcast.
Oh, I was going to say idiot.com is actually the Trump re-election campaign page, if you didn't know.
Damn!
So, and we are not on YouTube anymore because of that statement.
No,
YouTube
we're
can
on
suck a
YouTube.
fuck.
We're just demonetized.
I'm demonetized already, so suck my dick.
I love demons. So, anywho.
What is this monetization?
You wouldn't know about money, I understand. You work in the educational field.
And in the service industry, so
You didn't have
that's
to
a
go that
double
hard,
whammy
but you
there.
did.
Service?
Cervix.
Cervix with a smile.
Yeah, I work at Van Buren.
All right, well, I think we're done fucking this dog. I'm going to turn it around and I'm just going to hold its head.
Oh,
so.
yeah. Let's do
It's
this.
already been buried and came back and buried again and came back. It's
Oh, so how did you feel about Pet Cemetery, by the way, since we're on the record?
It was a good book.
It was.
Read it
Now,
again.
did I gild the lily at all, or did you get to the end and
They
feel
all-
like none of the characters really did much in the way of redeeming themselves? It's just how they dug themselves down to China, where they caught coronavirus.
Judd was a
AIDS.
great individual, and I loved him.
Yeah, he
Thanks,
tried,
Sam.
you know?
He definitely got a C for effort.
He
Everyone
He
else
deserves a C.
deserves an F for effort.
As I have said, what we really should have done if the good folks at I've forgotten it, but the folks that make Bloodborne and Souls and all those,
FromSoft.
yes, if the From Software folks really wanted to fuck up your confidence, rather than saying you died, they should have said you tried. I'm like, that is the slap in the face I really need at that
There
point
would be
for
a
failing.
graph of broken controllers correlating to changing that from died to tried.
I feel they should do that for, whatever I forget what the thing is called that Asher was raving about, but the scrolls that
Elden Ring?
The Elden Ring, yes, the George
The
Martin
game
thing
that
they're
will
coming
never
out.
come out?
Yes.
Yeah, you
The
sound like
cocktease.
him now.
I'm subscribed to subreddit.
Same.
I know the in-jokes. It's never coming out, whatever.
This
You
guy
know, if-
fucks.
If you talked a little bit more, we would find these things about you, as opposed to having to pull your frickin', fingernails off every episode.
But that's the only way I'll clip my nails.
Clit your nails?
Clit.
Well, if the clit don't fit,
You must have quit.
you must have quit.
Oh.
Indeed.
Well,
All
hey,
right, so
Anyway,
are you
here we
happy?
go.
end my suffering,
Are you
please.
No, I'm
no,
never happy.
I'm not asking for that reason.
Because we're the
Longest episode ever.
Longest episode.
Fuck.
No topic. But
Me.
you can't fucking complain, you mother cucker, because you have nothing else to do. So I expect the proof of this tomorrow by 4 p.m. There, I gave you a deadline, so you have a work from home thing to do.
By
I'm gonna
dead,
record
he
myself
means...
pissing into a toilet and send that. And be
Probably
like,
be
"How's that for a
better than half our
podcast?"
content. So.
And it would probably
Shit,
still
right.
smell better than Sam's bathroom, so...
No
All right,
comment.
well...
Fuck me up, Buttercup.
Please.
Fuck
I'm ready,
my
Daddy.
nuts. Okay. Ladies and germaphobes, thank you for being here this week. If you want to check us out on the social networks, you can find us at facebook.com/disinformedpodcast. You can find us on Instagram at disinformedpodcast and on Twitter at disinformedpod. If you're enjoying what you're hearing here, and I really hope that you are, because I
Why?
can't get any angrier. Wait, I can. Please, if you like what we do, rate and review. Check us out, subscribe, give us a review for those that, may be on the fence about, hearing a bunch of, late 20s, early 30s assholes rave
Angry
about
white
reality.
guys.
Oh, yeah, because we need more of that in the world. But so, check us out. Thank you for hanging out with us. And once again, for another rousing edition of the Disinformed Podcast, I'm Shane.
I'm barely John.
And I gotta pee.
Is that
Well, let's talk for another 5 minutes. I just want to, there's an interesting topic we've missed. Thank you for coming, kids. Don't worry, it is contagious and it's going to eat you all from the inside out.
hopefully the toilet paper hoarders first.
Two-ply, bitch.
You can't ply at all.
Two-ply or not two-ply?
That is the question. Buy a bidet. Just buy a bidet.